This is the AM8 PROT. This is the FIFINE Amplagame SC8. Everybody really needs a little bit of streamer flair. These are kind of fancy and fun. Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I've got a mic right here that was sent to me by the brand FIFINE. This is the AM8 PROT. It is the upgraded version from their original AM8, which, by the way, I have back here. I've tested in another video. I'll throw that link up at the end of this video, but I'm going to do a little bit of comparison so you can listen for yourself to see, is this truly an upgrade or is it just some extra features that maybe you don't need? But we're going to talk about it in this video. Let's get into it. And just a quick disclaimer, in the smoothest voice possible, FIFINE did send out this mic to me to review at no cost. This is not a paid sponsorship, and these are all my opinions. So what is this mic all about, the AM8 PROT? Well, it's definitely a microphone that's aimed at creators, gamers, streamers. It's a USB and XLR hybrid mic, so you've got both options when it comes to connectivity. We'll talk a little more about that here in a little bit, but as you can see, it's got some cool RGB light, actually several options to choose from, both on the microphone itself and on this included boom arm mic stand. So again, that comes with the mic in this AM8 PROT kit. Now, based on my last review of the original AM8, I can tell you that a lot of people will consider this definitely in the budget microphone space, but I don't know, you let me know what you think, but I think this thing sounds incredible, especially for what would be considered a budget microphone. But in addition to that, you're going to find several features that are pretty unique to this mic. So we'll talk about the different colors that you can choose from here with the options on the RGB colors. But really quickly, let's go back to the dual connectivity with the XLR and the USB. So with the USB, it's a USB-C. You can connect it directly into your computer. They actually give you a provided cable along with that to make that connection happen very easily. Connect into that, select your input on your computer, and you're ready to fire up. And with that direct USB connection, you need no preamp. It can power it on its own, just directly into the computer, and you'll immediately get, honestly, a really great sound. Now, the other option would be with just a traditional XLR cable like I've got right here. I've got it running over here into a mixer and then taking that into the computer. So that's an option as well. I just prefer that route if possible, but it's nice to know that you have those options. With the USB, that is actually what's going to activate a lot of the features on the mic itself, including these RGB lights. So even though I've got the XLR cable running the sound right now, I've still got some power running to the microphone itself from the USB-C, just because I wanted to be able to light up the microphone. And the boom arm itself is also going to be powered by USB. So you'll want to make sure you've got a little bit of power handy where you're recording, which most people do. Plug those in and you have a lot of options. Let's look at some of the options as far as the colors through the RGB light options. So on the bottom of the mic, you'll find a button that activates the lights. You can actually turn it off if you want to. So if you're using just a USB cable, you don't have to have the lights on. You just long press. Now they're off. Long press to turn it back on. And now from here, if you want to check out the lighting options, you would just cycle through there by single pressing. There's a ton of them, so I'm just going to run through a few of them. I still think the classic red is my favorite. Now you've got similar functions on the boom arm stand here, and there's a little button right here. Not sure if you could see that in the shot. Right here. So what you're going to want to do is, again, you can long press that to turn it off or turn it back on, and then just single pressing cycles through the lights. And once again, I think the red, probably my favorite, but there's actually a lot more options on this. You know, if you're a gamer or a streamer, this is probably something you might utilize. Not something I'm necessarily, need to have, but I kind of like the option to have the light add a little extra flair, but totally up to you. Now, if you're connecting the mic by USB, you'll actually get a few more options that, again, I'm running the XLR. I don't have right now, but I'll just tell you quickly about them. You've got this knob right here that you can control your levels, and you'll see a visible meter here when that's, powered by the USB-C. And you can just single press and toggle through to get to the headphones. If you're wearing headphones, you can switch to that and adjust the levels there. And there's also a blend option here, and I think that's to blend, your chat and your gaming volumes, but that's obviously going to be specifically for gamers. You've also got this tap to mute function, which is really cool. And once again, these options are only going to be available when you're using the mic with the USB as your, audio source. So overall, I think this is a pretty good quality mic. I think it's got solid sound. It does pretty well at background noise reduction, and it's got decent gain headroom. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the sound. Now, I would talk about what's improved and what's not, but really it's a lot of just the aesthetics. I think they sound pretty similar, but I definitely think that we should probably put them side by side to let you decide. So let's check them out. AM8 PROT. Peter picked this sassy podcast microphone. Original AM8. Peter picked this sassy podcast microphone. AM8 PROT. Peter picked this sassy podcast microphone. Original AM8. Peter picked this sassy podcast microphone. And that's kind of it in a nutshell. There are some other similarities between the AM8 PROT and the original AM8. They both have the tap to mute function. Again, they're both XLR and USB hybrid mics. And I think they both sound pretty comparable, but it is an upgraded look. Again, it comes with this really cool boom arm, and overall, it's just a lot of fun. And when it comes to the budget mic arena, I kind of feel like FIFINE'S got the lock on it. You let me know what you guys think in the comments. All right, so next, also from FIFINE, we've got a really cool compact mixer for content creation, streaming, and gaming. And this is the FIFINE AmpliGame SC8. Now, once again, this was sent to me by the brand for this review, so let's get into it. So again, you can see this is a compact gaming, streaming, and audio mixer interface. And one of the things that they added to this that makes it a cool upgrade from the previous SC3 is the game chat balance dial, so you can really blend in or mix your audio mix between game and chat. And I think it was a great move to go with these dials, these little knobs, instead of the previous faders that I think there was pretty good amount of feedback that those felt a little bit cheap. Now this does definitely feel plasticky and it's very lightweight, but it feels like a pretty well-made little compact mixer. Now this mixer has 24-bit audio capture and multiple EQ modes. You've got gaming, music, and movie. It's got 24-volt phantom power for condenser, XLR mics, and a significant gain range, but you've also got the dynamic mic setting as well if you don't need that phantom power. And you've got an aux in back here, as well as, PC to console flexibility for your audio. Now, one of the cool features for really in the fun category is all of the RGB light combinations, and I'll kind of flip through those to show you a little bit of an example of what the options are, but there are a ton of them. So you can really fully customize this to whatever your flavor is, or maybe dial it into your brand color. And also circling back to these knobs, again, I just love that you've got really easy control for the mic level, for your output, for monitoring, and the auxiliary. And I'm telling you, for a lot of people, that game to chat blend knob is going to be a game changer. And one of my favorite features and options that come on this, which is totally unnecessary but equally hilarious and fun, is all of the built-in voice effects on this. So I want to show you a few of them, but there are several on here and they're all fun. So to activate it, you'll just want to long press here.
And this is me talking like I'm a baby. Baba.
Apparently this is what I would sound like as a female.
And this is if I were more male, apparently. I don't know what elder is, but I kind of like this one.
And look at me, I'm a scary monster. Give me all your cookies.
You get the deal. These are pretty ridiculous. Another cool feature of this SC8 mixer here is the ability to use these custom buttons here to create custom samples if you've got recurring themes in your stream. I'll show you an example of some that I created. Thanks for hanging out, guys. See you next time.
Excuse me?
Take it easy, partner.
Hey, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Totally customizable. You can get absolutely as ridiculous as you'd like. That's it in a nutshell. Ton of options packed in this for really a budget mixer. You can't really ask for more. In fact, once again, I think that FIFINE is just really killing it in this space. All right, so the last thing we're looking at are these headphones here. These are the FIFINE H13 gaming and streaming headphones. Once again, FIFINE did send these out to me for this review, so let's get into it. So in a lot of ways, these are kind of your classic closed back gaming headphones. They're definitely very lightweight and have really a comfortable wear to them. I definitely feel like I could wear these for, extended periods of time. They feel very soft around your ears, but, they feel snug, so they feel comfortable, but, you're confident they're not going to be slipping. Now, as with a lot of these headphones, I would definitely say these are tuned for, gaming and voice clarity rather than music. You could do either, but definitely that's what it's tuned for. One of the things that's cool about these headphones is they do come with this inline control pod, so you've got volume control and mic mute on here, as well as a game chat balance slider on here, which is a great feature to have. Now, like a lot of these FIFINE gaming products, these come equipped with RGB lighting. They've got a ton of options here on the headset, which is totally cool to have these cosmetic, customizable colors. Everybody really needs a little bit of streamer flair, and it includes this detachable mic here just in case you didn't pick up this AM8 PROT. Now, this mic on the headset's definitely good enough for gaming or streaming, but it's not studio quality. So for a simple headset, something that's supposed to not be super fancy and budget conscious, these are kind of fancy and fun. So if you like this line of products by FIFINE and you want to check them out, you'll find some links down in the description. And as always, I appreciate you joining me. I'll see you on the next one.